Hey guys, welcome back. Mr. Donaldson here, Mrs. Faulkner. I'm just going to talk to you today about the top reasons that people do look to join a martial arts school. And probably the obvious one, I suppose, is self-defense. And like we said, if you watched our other video, learning self-defense, it comes with martial arts. It's an obvious one. Through our program, the kids will learn, and the adults and the teens will all learn the basic blocks, basic kicks, basic strikes, working up through the ranks into all the more advanced skills, including bullying or anti-bullying and stranger danger and, wrist lock escapes and, shirt grab and choke escapes and all of that good stuff. But the biggest reason, and probably maybe if you're watching this, one of the reasons why you're coming, over 70% of our parents come to us, is for looking for increased confidence. And Mrs. Faulkner is just going to talk a bit about why martial arts is great for increasing confidence.
Excellent. So with martial arts, you can increase your confidence in so many ways. So when you learn a new skill or a new technique, you do learn those self-defense skills. You can stand up in front of the class and you can perform your hand drills, or you can perform your different techniques, or you might go to our championship events. There's so many different ways that you can push yourself outside of your comfort zone and increase your confidence. And the more you do it, the more your confidence grows week on week. But the best part about martial arts is that every single class gives you the opportunity to increase your confidence in all of these different areas and to get better.
Awesome. And one of the other reasons, probably the second biggest reason that parents come to us is for increased discipline, and more specifically self-discipline. And there's a saying that you can't impose self-discipline on people. You've got to learn that yourself. And at the start, that does take some external pressure, and that comes from us as the instructors and you as the parent. But what we're really trying to do is instill self-discipline in our students, that they actually want to train, that they want to do their practice at home, that they want to show up to class, and it's not just because mum and dad's dragging them, and it's the activity that they do on whatever day of the week. So through martial arts, if they want to progress through the ranks, they need to learn that they need to take responsibility for their own training. And that's just like the first baby step of why self-discipline and discipline is trained through martial arts. And through self-discipline comes focus, and Mrs. Faulkner is just going to touch on focus a little bit.
Thank you. So in today's world, our lives are just so busy. There's so much technology, there's so many distractions. But when you're in a martial arts class, you have to really focus on what you're doing if you want to improve on your techniques, if you want to nail that hand drill or that kata or whatever the case may be. So you're provided with so many opportunities where you have to really intensely focus on what you're doing to improve. You have to be persistent, you have to have that repetition, and you have to keep trying. So it's a great environment where you can just block out what's going on in the rest of the world and really zone in on what you're doing. And then you also create that healthy mindset through being physical and being fit, being more healthy with your life. And that also in turn creates increased focus as well.
Awesome. And tagging on the back of focus is self-control. Now, we have our Mighty Maps program, which is our 3 to 6 year olds, and a lot of those kids, they haven't even started school, haven't even started prep yet, and they don't know how to sit. You don't just wake up one day knowing how to sit down and listen to your teacher, and that's one of the things that we teach in those younger age groups in particular. But it's really good as well for the older kids, particularly ones who have ADD or ADHD, or just any sort of self-control issues, is learning how to sit still and to pay attention. That we say the hardest thing in martial arts is to sit still. It's not how to do some crazy kick. It's how to sit still and to be still and to listen. And that's a really important part of the program, is teaching kids, I keep teaching kids, now is the time for sitting still, and then there's a time for action as well. But right now, you need to listen to the instructions and learn this thing so that you can get out there in 20 seconds time and actually do the technique. And self-control is a really big one that flows through into other areas of life, particularly in school. And speaking of school, it's really important that our kids are enjoying their school as well. And that's a big part of our program is interacting with the school and having a really positive attitude towards schooling and towards learning. And Mrs. Faulkner is just going to touch on positive attitude and how that's developed through martial arts.
Awesome. So martial arts is fantastic for building a positive attitude. When you're focusing on your skills and improving week on week and nailing those techniques, you gain that confidence that we spoke about earlier, but that also breeds that positivity. You're doing well, you're being successful. We've also got a really great community here at Matford S. So we've got a lot of like-minded people who are here to have a good time, to increase their skills, to get better and better. And when you're surrounded by people who are like that, you're surrounded by people who are working hard, you become the best version of yourself possible. And then that just keeps that positive attitude rolling.
Awesome. Look, and there's so many reasons why you'd want to get into martial arts. Now, I've got a YouTube channel where I talk about all of those and go into them in a lot more detail, so you can check that out. Hit me up and I'll send you the link. But basically, those are the top reasons when people come to us and say, hey, I'm interested in martial arts, and we say, great, why? Those reasons are the biggest ones. So I'm pretty confident I'm not going to guarantee, actually, you know what, I will guarantee it, that one of those reasons that we just talked about is one of the reasons why. Now, might be some others, but I reckon you can tick at least one of those boxes. And if you haven't, tell you what, I'll give you your first month of training for free. All right, so there you go. There's my guarantee right there. So look, stay tuned. We've got a few more videos and a bit more information coming towards you guys as we move towards our launch day for our new school. But for now, take care, and we'll look forward to meeting you guys soon.